what is up everybody? Welcome back to Austin's Off-Road Garage. My name is Austin, and today we are going to be talking about some essentials that I bring when we hit the trails. Now it might give or take depending on the severity of the trail or if we're camping or something like that. But let's dive in and go over a few things that I deem essential in my rig. So this is the box I'm telling you guys about. It's just something that I picked up from like Walmart. It's got a nice handle so you can pull it forward and back. It's got wheels on it. Where are they at? Right there, in case you need to roll it around. I like the fact that it latches and it has a lock because I do put it in the back of my pickup truck. And it actually holds the majority of the things you'll see in today's video. But yeah, this is the box that we stuff everything in. Okay, so these first couple items, I'm gonna call this recovery gear. So my winch setup right here, I've got this 13,000 pound winch. I've got this Factor 55 flat link. So with using that flat link from Factor 55, it's called closed system winching. So another product that I use from them is this Factor 55 soft shackle. I've actually yet to use this thing, so this thing's brand new. But basically it acts as one of these, but it's made of synthetic line. And their whole theory is that there's no open points for something to go wrong when you're winching. So yeah, we carry this soft shackle, excuse me. I also carry just your regular, shackle here made of steel. I don't know the rating on this guy, but yeah, it just threads in and out like that. You hook it to the flat link, hook your tow rope to that, and then that's a fully closed system there. So that's another thing I carry. Something that I think everyone should carry is a snatch block. It just acts as a pulley so you can run a winch line and then, over to here to your next vehicle. It just makes it so you have another point of attachment. Also, pulleys reduce the strain on your winch. What I need, an item that I really need to get is a tree strap. Haven't got around to that yet. And then obviously everyone should always carry a tow strap. Mine is freaking beefy. I think it was used for lifting with a crane. I swear this thing's just gnarly. I was gifted this from my grandpa, and you know what? It's worked, and it's extremely heavy duty, and I'm never gonna have to worry about it failing. So that's my tow rope. Always carry a couple bungee cords. You just never know. Always carry some ratchet straps. These can be a lifesaver. For instance, one time in my red truck, my pickup, I actually broke the third link off the frame. And what that does is control the pitch of the axle front to back. And I had to ratchet strap my axle so it wouldn't just roll forward. And really glad I had those. It got me off the trail. Another thing that I carry is this winch controller that plugs straight into my winch. This does have a wireless setup, but in case that ever faults out, I have a manual way to do it. So I carry that. This is like my most recent thing. I've got onboard air now. If you don't know, I have a ARB locker and compressor setup on my 4Runner, and we finally got an air hose and an air chuck set up on my compressor. And so that's an ARB hose with a inflator there, and I also carry a gauge. So this box, I actually throw it in my pickup and my 4Runner, so it kind of varies between rigs, but these all work between both rigs. So the next item is this, let me grab this camera real quick. is this Super Flow compressor. It's a pretty big guy. You can see it there, the model MV90. And I've upgraded the hose on it. The other one was just old and the gauges didn't work. So got this nice hose. Thanks, Brett. But this guy is big enough that you could seat the bead on a 37-inch tire with a ratchet strap. So another reason I carry those. That thing's super nice. It's kind of redundant being that I have onboard air, but you never know. So I carry it anyway. I also forgot to grab this, but it happens to be sitting right here. I carry an ARB tire deflator as well to air down on those trails. Not really a recovery thing, but it goes along the lines. So yeah, and then I run 2 extra shackles on my rear bumper, 2 shackles just like this. So it's kind of, I think we've covered the bases on that. So let's jump into the next thing. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is some hand tools. Everything besides these 1/2-inch impact sockets and my impact gun live in my 4Runner. They live in this box. So this is like the most important thing to me. You gotta have a nice set of tools on you at all times, I think. I've used tools in my truck just as many times as I've used them in my garage. I've saved not only my own ass, but several others. But yeah, let's go over something real quick. So not everybody's gonna agree, but I think a good knife is a pretty dang handy tool. So I carry, this is a Browning, kind of a tactical blade there. It don't matter what you carry, just a knife is always good to have. This one actually clips onto my belt, so it's nice to have when I'm like camping or whatever, but I usually just stick it in my door. It's in the 4Runner. I also have one that a buddy of mine made out of a saw blade. It's just nice for just beating the crap out of. You know, it's not anything crazy. Next is we just have your basic sockets, right? These were ones that I've upgraded the ones in my toolbox, so now they're living in my 4Runner. Got this nice Milwaukee bag for them. And the same situation with my wrenches, and I have a couple ratchets in here as well, which is nice because I carry this right here, and I'm gonna link this in the description. It's actually as an Amazon affiliate link, so help support the channel if you want to buy something like this. This is a Crescent, like I want to say like 150 piece. I don't know. I don't remember. You can find out in that link. But it basically covered all the basics, right? Let me pop this up. Smooth move, Austin. Let me pick those up and then we'll be back. Well, that was embarrassing, but anyway. So this is the inside of that Crescent kit. It just has all your basic standard and metric screwdrivers, all that good stuff. This thing's awesome, and you know, it doesn't take up too much space. Unfortunately, I can't fit this in the box, so it does live just in the back of the 4Runner. So yeah, yet again, that's the Crescent set right there. It's all muddy from my last trip out. So yeah, that thing's awesome. And then I always carry this crowbar, and I mainly use this for when I have to change the CV on the trail. And then I carry this 36 mil socket for that wheel nut. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, just some more redundancy here with some vice grips and some channel locks, and another adjustable wrench. I got a hammer for when you need to beat something. So yeah, toolkit's pretty basic, but it works. It's definitely saved my ass a few times. But like I mentioned, this doesn't stay in there, and these sockets don't stay in there. They're my toolbox sockets. So every trip I take those with me, and make sure I definitely have those, because that will be a lifesaver if I need to change a tire, you know, break that wheel nut free, just stuff like that. So on to the next item. All right, so the next couple items we're gonna be talking about are just in case of an emergency. So the next ones, like I mentioned, these are all just in case items that you've either got stranded or you run into a situation where you can't get off the trail for a couple hours, or you know, even maybe overnight. I've actually had to rescue a buddy who spent the night in his rig, and we had to go get him the next day. So I always try and be over prepared, guys. If you can't tell, you just never know what's gonna happen. So that being said, I always carry, we'll call it a coat, but this is just an old flannel shirt that I don't really care about, so I can get grease, mud, whatever, you know. You can throw it on the ground and sleep on it. You can use it as a jacket. I don't know, burn it for fire. I don't know. Something to keep you warm. So there's that. Next thing is, I always carry a pair of boots on me that are fully waterproof. These ones are some Timberland boots. I started carrying boots in my rig for one time. I was out doing recovery in the winter, and I ended up just wearing Vans, which is stupid because I was tromping through knee-deep snow and my feet were soaked and the sun was going down and I was starting to get really cold. So started throwing boots in there. They also keep mud, all that fun stuff, and they're just tough. So there you go, some boots. I recommend that. Set of jumper cables. You could end up saving somebody, or you could save yourself. I think everybody knows about jumper cables, so I'm not really gonna go into that, but always carry jumper cables on you. I always carry a jug of water, a gallon or more. This can be used for two reasons. Yourself, it could be used for if your truck's overheating and you need a little bit more fluid in there. Maybe even dumping it on a fire if your truck's on fire. I don't know. Mainly just carry this for me, but yeah, always carry a jug of water, and I do replace it every now and then. I try and drink it on a hot day. So there's that. I also carry this blanket, kind of like an emergency blanket. I love this thing because it rolls up, stores nicely. This one happens to be waterproof, and you know, it's like a nice flannel material. So I'll even use this. I'll throw it out on the ground if I'm working under the rig, something breaks or something like that. So, and this will double as keeping me warm. If I need to sleep, I have a blanket, so on and so forth. So always carry a nice blanket. I carry a lantern, just something simple, so I have some light. Pretty basic there, if I need to see at night. And then I always carry a first aid kit. I stick this in the little compartment on the passenger side. I don't really know what it's for, but it's got that little compartment in the 4Runners that you can just stash stuff in. So I stash this in there, and fits perfect. So yeah, just a first aid kit. Has a bunch of stuff. Something I'd like to get is one for my dogs as well. Yeah, this thing's freaking sweet. Try not to spill this one all over the place. Has some hand warmers in it, stuff like that. So it's always smart, especially when you have kids that are crazy, like to fall down a lot. So yeah, first aid kit for sure. Unfortunately, the ones that I ordered haven't got here yet. But I'm gonna start putting fire extinguishers in all my rigs. This one is for the shop, but I'll link the ones that I bought in the description. It's also an Amazon link, so help support the channel. I'm actually gonna compile a whole list of some of these items that on Amazon if you guys are interested. So, I mean, yeah, pretty obvious, putting out fires. You never know if you're gonna have an electrical fire or anything like that. So, definitely gonna start running a fire extinguisher inside my rigs because it's a big investment and I really don't want to lose it. But yeah, so that's my emergency preparedness kit, we'll call it, and let's move on to the next thing, guys. Up next we have spared parts and some misc items. All right, so these are some spare parts and some misc things that I like to carry. Mostly it's just parts that I've broken, and then I'm like, I really don't want to fix that on the trail. So first things first, I've got some spare fan, like fan belt, you know, your power steering belt, your AC belt. I carry all spares of those, all brand new. Call me paranoid, but you never know. These are old vehicles now. What are they, 20 something years old? So yeah, carry the belts. Zip ties. You never know. Zip ties are awesome. Definitely save your butt. Gorilla tape, freaking awesome. Tape and crap. This is a spare part that I've carried. U-joint. This is for the rear drive line or the front. It's just a universal joint here. I actually busted a rear one and just happened to have two of these in the truck, so I'm only down to one, but definitely saved my bacon there. Well, actually broke it on the 4Runner. So that's that. I carry the spindle bolts that bolt the spindle to the control arm. Carry 3 of those. Had 4, but I saved someone's butt one day. And yeah, I just kind of got paranoid. So these aren't Toyota factory bolts. They're just from like Ace Hardware, wherever your local hardware store is. But just throw a couple of these in the box because, I mean, if you've had to change one of those out that's been sheared or it's just fallen out, it sucks. So I carry one of those. I definitely want to get like an extractor kit. I definitely think that'd be a smart idea. Carry some gloves, just for obvious reasons. Something's hot or you don't want to get dirty, but yeah, just have some gloves. I carry some shop towels for cleanup or just putting it on the ground so I don't get anything on the ground. Try and keep spills to a minimum. It's good for checking oil, you know, just those basic tasks. So those are nice to carry. I carry these fast funnels. They're just like a paper funnel. I like them because they don't take up hardly any space, and then you can just dispose of them properly, pretty easy. So I definitely recommend those. Just happened to see them at the store one day. I was like, dude, that's freaking genius. So threw them in the truck, take up not very much space, and they're easy to pack. So paper funnels. I carry power steering fluid because my red truck leaks power steering fluid like a sieve. And I also rolled my 4Runner once, and the only fluid that I lost was power steering fluid. So I like to steer, so I carry this stuff. WD-40 should have been in the tools section, but for some reason I put it in here. So yeah, WD-40 is awesome. I carry some shop rags again, just for cleanup, cleaning myself off. It's also nice to have, like if you're camping, you run out of toilet paper. This stuff probably doesn't biodegrade very well, so I try not to use it for it, but if I'm in an emergency situation, I definitely try and bury it though. But mainly use it for working on the rig. We have this electrical kit. I don't know, I just thought it'd be handy to throw in the box. It's got everything you need. It's got a check light, some strippers, like a battery terminal cleaner, a bunch of fittings, connectors, all sorts of stuff. Some fuses, some shrink tube, some zip ties. Just awesome. You never know when you're having an electrical problem, and they're hard to diagnose. So every once in a while, if I get paranoid, I'll throw in my multimeter too. And last but not least, I carry a full spare CV axle. Just happens to be the weak point on my rig up front, and I like to carry one. I've never actually busted one on the trail. I don't wheel hard enough. No, just got lucky. I've had the boots tear, and yeah, I just really don't want to deal with it. But it is nice to have a new one if I need it. So that's all the spare parts I carry. All right, we got it all packed up. So the only things I can't fit in here are these few things. And we just stashed those in the truck somewhere else. So that's it for the old, we're bulging a little bit, but that's it for the old box. She works good. She does what I need it to do. I would like to add a few things. I'd like to get like an outer tie rod. I've seen those break a few times on these third gens. And just some spare bolts here and there. But yeah, that's what I carry in my box, guys. I consider it to be basic, but kind of overboard, because I don't like when things go bad and I'm not prepared. It stresses me out. So I try and be as prepared as possible. So yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts. If you have any ideas for me to add to my box, or I hope I gave you guys some ideas to add to yours. As always, guys, it's much appreciated. Thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting. I'm going to continue to do this stuff as long as you guys are watching. So we've got some really big news coming on the 4Runner. Just unfortunately, it's build season, and my parts are several weeks out. So be prepared for that. We got a freaking huge project coming up on this 4Runner, and it's definitely gonna be a game changer. Something I cannot wait to do. Can't wait to show you guys. Yeah, so stay tuned for that, and we'll catch you guys next time.